The live-action Death Note movie that Netflix made a few years ago was one of the worst things that I've ever seen. It was roasted by critics, audiences, and the only good thing in it was William Dafoe. Of course, this also is a great example of why anime shouldn't get the live-action treatment, but Netflix has decided the movie wasn't bad enough because they're letting the Duffer Brothers do a new Death Note live-action adaptation. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So starting with this Bounding Into Comics article, it says Netflix taps Stranger Things creators to helm the live-action Death Note series. Now, a lot of people were, first of all, surprised to hear that they were doing a live-action Death Note series because the live-action movie was such a disaster. But a lot of people are also confused by the Stranger Things creators being a part of this project. It says, following the conclusion of Stranger Things' 4th season, the series creators, the Duffer Brothers, have revealed that they're intent on not only keeping their creative endeavors at Netflix, but also continuing on in the world of mystery horror with a live-action adaptation of the Death Note manga. It says, as announced in a Deadline exclusive published on July 6th, the sibling creative team have formed a new production company, Upside Down Pictures, through which they will work on several new projects for the streaming giant. It does definitely seem like Netflix likes the Duffer Brothers, they want to continue to work with them, and we also know that they're going to have some part in a Stranger Things spin-off. They basically said that they want to hand the baton off. They don't want to be the main creators of it, but they definitely want to have a hand in it and give their feedback and their input. So we don't know what that project is going to be like, but we know that they at least still have Stranger Things season 5 to do, and then after that they're planning to start this series, which, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think there's any possible way they could release another live-action Death Note project and it not be laughed at, but obviously the best example of the Duffer Brothers' work I have to go off of is Stranger Things. They did do Wayward Pines right before, which was pretty good, but their other work was just short films, and when it comes to Stranger Things, Season 1 was amazing, Season 2 was great, Season 3 was the weakest, and Season 4 was pretty good, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't even close to being the best thing ever written. There's so many better different directions they could have gone in, but it is what it is, and I'm looking forward to season 5, though it doesn't give me a lot of confidence in them as writers and directors. You know, with some writers and directors, we see their work and we go, wow, they could do so many different things, they could go to so many different genres, and with them, all I really see is Stranger Things. Again, the first 2 seasons were great, but with only one more season of the show, there is a lot of potential for plot holes, and unless they can write endings to all of the storylines they've created, then they've ultimately failed the series. As per Variety, once they wrap up Stranger Things with its upcoming 5th season, they will be working on the live-action Death Note series, a new series from Dark Crystal Age of Resistance creators. We don't know anything about that. They will also be doing a series based on Stephen King's 1984 novel, The Talisman, and a stage play based on the world of Stranger Things, and they're going to have a hand in the live-action Stranger Things spinoff. So they do have a lot of projects in the future. Of course, when we hear about people like this having projects, most of them end up getting canceled just because they can only work on 1 or 2 things at a time. So who knows what we're going to end up getting? Who knows what they're, going to do about the spin-offs and how much of a hand they're going to have in them. But right now they do have a lot of projects lined up, but it doesn't matter, okay? Because at the end of the day, when you hear a Death Note live action, we instantly think of this movie. Back in 2017, this came out and it was an absolute disaster. Again, the only good thing in this was William Dafoe. It was roasted by critics, roasted by users. It's sitting at a 37% critic score and a 23% audience score. No one seemed to like this movie. There was no redeeming factors to it. It's not like visually it was stunning, or the writing was really solid, or the acting was solid. It all around was just a very bad movie. And of course, when we talk about, adaptations of anime to live action, we think of this and we go, you know what, it doesn't need the live action treatment. But looking at the user scores, of course, as you can see, they're mostly half stars, 1 stars, and 2 stars. There are like a 3-star here and there, even a 5-star from a couple of days ago, but clearly it is not loved and it wasn't well received. Netflix clearly can't do live-action adaptations, not only with Death Note, but we've seen that with Cowboy Bebop as well. That was a disaster, and they didn't even want to finish the original story because they canceled it after 1 season. They're also doing One Piece, and we're all worried about that too, so right now, it's not looking very good for Netflix and live-action adaptations. So reading just a few of the audience reviews, people are giving it half stars, 1 star saying just terrible, I cringed the entire time, and you could tell the screams were fake. People saying things like just horrible and terrible. You start to wonder how people were allowed to even create this. I wonder why Netflix had to unanimate this in the first place and wipe the culture and tradition that the series originally had. The plot was completely nonsensical, but on the positive side, that kept things from getting predictable, and despite how stupid it was, I have to admit that I found myself mostly enjoying it. There's some fun high-concept stuff in there, but if you're gonna watch, just be prepared to go with it, otherwise you'll be pulling your hair out at how illogical it is. And of course, Discussing Films put up a tweet saying the Duffer Brothers will develop this new live-action series, and people in the comments are going, that is not what we expected. Netflix wants to be the first company to fail Death Note twice. I mean, lots of memes, lots of jokes. No, please, not again. I truly do not know why anyone would look at Death Note at Netflix and go, you know what, let's give it another go, because it was such a disaster the first time around. They're most likely not going to do a better job this time. I hope that they do, obviously, but I don't have any faith in them at this point. People are saying things like there's no way they could even dream of topping the anime. It is literal perfection. We will never be free. Why did he do it? Just lots of jokes here. So I don't know what is going to happen with this. It seems like a massive, massive meme. Judging by the movie, I would say there's a likely chance it will get canceled and they will, quietly decide to not go forward with it. Who knows? Maybe it'll come out and it'll be amazing. I have absolutely no hope in it, though, at all whatsoever. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.